Talk time for big, beautiful tax cuts. The House Ways and Means Committee meeting tomorrow to mark up the tax portion of President Trump's bill. And today, the initial draft came out, giving Americans a big old glimpse of the proposal.
They've got quite a list here. It includes permanently extending Trump's 2017 tax cuts, of course, boosting the child tax credit from $2,000 to $2,500, raising the pass-through business deduction to 23%, plus no taxes on tips or overtime, a bonus deduction for seniors of $4,000. This is subject to income limits, and a $30,000 SALT cap, which is lower than what a lot of the SALT caucus, that is Republicans who live in blue states, had asked for.
Otherwise known as rhinos, right, David? Let's welcome House Ways and Means Committee member, Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Congresswoman, I have to say my favorite part of the draft text is a tax increase on university endowments. So it's on a sliding scale. And these endowments, these hedge funds, were never taxed until 2017, the President Trump's tax cut plan then. So it starts low, and it goes all the way up to the largest endowments at over $10 million per student, I think is the way it breaks out, to a 21% tax. It's only at 1.4% now on the very richest endowments. That's got to stick it to them.
Well, we really weren't looking at this necessarily the size of the endowment, but the percentage of the endowment that was actually being spent on students, okay. The idea that it was being spent on academics. And it was, if you're not going to be investing in your own students, then why do you even have an endowment that is tax-free? If you're just purchasing land and you're competing with the private sector, why do you get to do it tax-free? So the idea was to encourage these universities with these massive endowments. Instead of having the government have to keep bailing you out, why don't you use some of your endowments for your student use?
One of the big problems that we've had are the accountants, the blue shade accountants who were in there saying that you have to pay for tax cuts when, in fact, we have increased the revenue since 2017 by 48%. So rather than having to pay for tax cuts more than paid for themselves, a lot more than paid for themselves. Is there still some kind of formula that the CBO or the parliamentarian insists on that includes these pay-for tax cuts when, in fact, extending them isn't going to cost? It might actually bring in more revenue as it generates more income.
We have not seen a whole lot of accuracy coming from the CBO's office. I'll hold my breath on that.
Not for decades.
But you're absolutely right. It's amazing when you give businesses the ability to be able to use their capital. What they do is they invest in their employees and they invest in the future of their business, which typically means that they are growing, that they are adding to the economy. And as a result, when you actually make more revenue, you pay more in taxes. And that's exactly what we saw out of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is why it is so imperative that we have those tax cuts continue. If they are not continued, and a number of the provisions are set to expire at the end of this year, you're going to see massive tax increases, not only to businesses but also to individuals. You're looking at $1,700 on average for American worker that they would increase. What this bill does is it actually looks at how we are helping the average American worker, increasing their take-home pay by about $3,300. Again, if we don't have this, they're going to experience a $1,700 loss. We are looking at the child tax credit, and we're making sure that that doesn't expire, but we're actually adding to it. We are looking at what they are doing for take-home and their deductions. Not only am I on the Ways and Means Committee, but I'm also on the Small Business Committee, and we have had small businesses from across the country come and tell us how imperative these tax cuts are, not just for their economic growth and their investment, but just to be able to keep the doors open. And that's exactly what this bill is doing. And we are also incentivizing manufacturing. We want to see a resurgence of manufacturing brought right back to America in the United States. And all of that is through policy. Policy is really important. This is not a tax breaks for the rich. This is a tax breaks for the American workers to grow our economy. And that is exactly what we're trying to do.
Can I ask you a quick question, Congresswoman, before we move on? 91% of Americans do not itemize their deductions. So this SALT deduction, they don't even take it. So this $30,000 cap on the SALT deduction, there were 4 Republicans here in New York State who said, no, 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 that's not big enough. What have you heard from them today, if anything? Will they go along with that?
Well, I would hope that they would. I mean, obviously, you've seen that letter saying that with 30,000, which is proposed, which is in the draft, they are fighting on. And they absolutely looked at it as if it was, some kind of a personal, a bad thing for us to do to them. It has nothing to do with that. You've got blue states, like the state of New York, that for every dollar that they send in for federal taxes, they get back $1.06. It's because they have expanded so much of their federal give by what happened in the pandemic. They're like #1 for SNAP benefits. You look at how much they spend on housing because they have some of the most expensive housing in the country. But the red states should not have to make up for it. The 45 states should not have to make up for the 5 states that are complaining about SALT. And I would really hope that they understand that this tax bill is important to every one of their constituents, every one of the businesses that are in their districts, that if you don't have this tax bill that gets passed, the SALT's not going to matter. It's very clearly that what they are trying to do is hold this bill hostage, and it can't happen. It's way too important. We need to put aside our regional concerns and look at what's best for the country. Look at what's best for working Americans.
Congresswoman, we only got 5 seconds, but could they kill the bill? Could these blue state Republicans actually kill the bill if they stick it to us and SALT?
We have the smallest, we have a tiny majority. If we don't have, all but 3 members that vote for it, they could absolutely kill the bill.
Wow.
This is way too important for one state to be able to hold hostage the rest of the country.
Absolutely.
We have got to get this bill passed. We've got to stand together as Republicans. I'm confident that that will happen. But the chest beating and the posturing have got to stop.
Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, so great to see you.
Good stuff.